everyone. Welcome back to the Sharona Knits Knitting Podcast. Today is October 31st, so happy Halloween. And I'm coming to you at around 8:45 in the morning. Today I'm doing something a little bit different. I decided to put my notes on my laptop and keep that next to me instead of writing everything down because I do type quite quickly and my handwriting is not the neatest when I'm trying to write fast. And so that'll be great. I just have some notes about my projects and what I'm planning to work on and what I want to talk about to kind of keep us on track today. So I'm really excited to share everything that I've been working on with you guys. This week has been a ton of knitting, mostly on garments. And it's just been a really great week. I started watching Criminal Minds, and that's been my new knitting show. I already binged all of season 1, so now I'm on to season 2, and I've just been sitting on the couch, watching Criminal Minds, knitting away on all of the projects, and so I'm really excited to show you guys what I have been working on all week. So let's get started. Okay. First of all, I have a finally complete finished object. As you can see here, I have a pair of socks. These are the Natural Beauty socks by Annabelle Williams. They are a gift knit, as I've mentioned before. They're going to be for my grandmother for Christmas, and I'm really not someone who likes to be gift knitting at the last minute, so I want to get things done ahead of time, which is why I wanted to work on this project so early. I'm going to show you guys a little close-up of the socks. This sock has a really beautiful lace pattern that I absolutely love. It also has cables in the original pattern, but I chose to omit them because I just thought it was kind of slowing down the process, and I didn't really love cabling as much. But I think the cables do look really pretty, and I would love to do it on a different sock. As I've mentioned before on this podcast, the toe, that blue color, is Filcolana Arwetta, and then the green color for the rest of the foot and leg is a Madeline Tosh yarn that I don't remember when I got it, where I got it. It's just been in my stash forever, and I wanted to use it up, and I thought the colors would look really nice. This sock was actually my first time doing lace knitting on a sock. I've never done this before, and I thought that the pattern turned out really lovely. It's basically 13, I did 13 repeats for the foot and then 7 for the leg, and then I did my own little ruffle edge. The ruffle edge didn't turn out as ruffly as I hoped that it would, but I kind of just did what I thought a ruffle would be. Like, I rapidly increased and then knit some and then rapidly decreased. So I bought a ruffle sock pattern off Pearl Soho actually, and that is probably going to be the next pair of socks I work for myself to make a cute pair of like ruffled socks and see how that turns out. I'm very excited about that, and I think it'll be really fun. I had a really fun time knitting on this pair of socks because the lace repeat is really addicting. I would like knit one repeat and be like, ooh, I want to knit the next repeat. Ooh, I want to knit the next repeat. And it was also really easy to keep track of how much I was knitting because I could be like, okay, today I'm going to try and get through 3 or 4 repeats. Tomorrow I want to get through another 3 or 4. And then obviously made it super easy to make sure my socks were exactly the same because I could be like, I did this number of repeats on this sock, so I'm just going to do the exact same number on the next sock. I did an afterthought heel because I just kind of wanted to keep knitting on the lace and put in the heel later. And I thought an afterthought would be the easiest way to kind of do that. Pardon if my voice sounds a little scratchy or I'm a little sniffly today. But I am in Southern California, and if you've seen anything about the weather here has been seriously going up and down. It's been like in the 80s to the 60s, and that means that the Santa Ana winds are coming due to all of that weather fluctuation. And with the Santa Ana winds comes tons and tons of dust, which I am quite allergic to, and so it's been kind of giving me a little bit of the sniffles and some allergic reactions. But I took my allergy medication this morning, so I'm definitely fine. Nothing's wrong. It's just the dust in the air, and I was outside for a bit yesterday. So yeah, just kind of getting over those allergies. But let's move on. These are, once again, the Natural Beauty socks by Annabelle Williams. It is a lovely, lovely pattern. Highly recommend. Will definitely be making a pair for myself in the very near future. Okay. Next finished object My next finished object was an acquisition, but I acquired and knit it all up in the same day. So I got this La Ba Ba knitting kit. It came in this cute little bag. And it's from Juliette Picote Designs. I think that's French, and I'm definitely butchering it, but I don't speak French. And you make this really cute little La Ba Ba. So let me zoom in on the face. The face has these like little safety eyes and this like white fluff. So the white fluff is this really lovely boucle yarn, and the boucle looks so much like a sheep's wool. I thought that was just amazing. And then it's just black for all of the little accent pieces. And my favorite part is that it comes with this teeny little piece of hardware so that you can hang it onto any bag. I had such a fun time knitting this up. It did knit up. I got it on Tuesday in the mail, and I completely knit it up on Tuesday. I just sat on the couch and worked on it all day pretty much. The body and the head were super, super easy. The arms and legs were a little bit more fiddly just because of how small they were and like very small very small circumference in the round. I wrote about it a little on my Instagram, Sharona Knits, about how it's just fiddly. But overall, the pattern was really lovely, super well written, very easy to follow. And even though it was fiddly, I feel like it's so worth it because look at how cute he is. So super, super cute. I had such a fun time working him up. It's a really lovely bag charm. So I brought my bag here so I could show you guys what it looks like. Clips right on very easily. I feel like this is a good size clip where I haven't had any like issues fitting it through the strap and stuff like that. So yeah, he just sits on my bag like this, and I'm gonna be so excited to carry my little La Ba Ba around with me everywhere. If you know me IRL in real life, you know that I love Labubus and I have them, and I also love a good bag charm. I've shown this one before as well. Love a good bag charm. I feel like it's such a great way to decorate your bag and personalize it and make them more fun. So I'm so excited to be adding my La Ba Ba. I just knew that I had to have this. I actually saw someone post about it in a different Rhinebeck recap that they saw someone with a La Ba Ba and a little sweater. And I just knew from that moment, I saw it on YouTube, I immediately was like, I have to have this. I got online and I ordered it. I do want to knit a little sweater vest. That's included in the pattern as well for the La Ba Ba. I just haven't gotten there yet. So yeah. Okay, so those are my only two finished objects. A little bit sparse this week because I've mostly been garment knitting, and obviously garments are a lot larger and they just take a lot longer. So the WIPs section is going to be a little bit longer today. I have a lot of garments that are currently works in progress, and so I'm really excited to show them all to you. Okay, first one, this is a work in progress that will no longer be worked on and will be hibernating for a little bit. So here I have I think this is sweater vest number 7. Might be number 7 or 8. I'll leave the exact one in the comments. I actually forgot to write this one down because she's going into hibernation. This is going to be a gift for my grandfather at some point when I finally finish it. I'm using Cascade 220 Superwash so that it's easy for him to care for and stuff like that. I am pretty much just knitting the sweater vest size L directly to pattern, the large size. And I just decided that I haven't found a lot of joy in working on this, so I'm not going to work on it for right now. I finished the ball of Cascade that I was using, and I'm done with I split for the armholes, and I've done a bunch of the body already. I just wanted to finish up the skein of Cascade that I was using for the body, and then I decided that I would just put this on hold and set it aside until I'm ready to work on it again. I think that since this is one of the larger sizes and I normally knit a small or even an extra small size for myself, there's just a lot of stitches on the needles for the body, and that means a lot of purling. And obviously I'm not as good as purling as I am as knitting because I just do it less. And so the body had become a little bit of a slog. It's definitely a bit of a process for me to get through. And so I decided, since there's not really a timeline, I know in the last podcast I said I wanted to finish this for Christmas. But through the past week of just knitting on it, I have just been really like slogging along to get done with those purl rows. And I've decided to just put it aside for now because there's not really a timeline. My grandpa doesn't even know I'm knitting this for him. So he has no idea. Nobody's waiting on it. And so I'm just going to put it aside and come back to it when I am ready to work on it some more. So it's going in this little bag. This bag my friend actually gave to me in high school, so very special. And I'm just gonna be sticking this little bag away, and I'll get back to working on it whenever I feel like it. Okay. Next are the WIPs that I'm actually working on and hopefully actually going to finish. But no promises because it's me. And today I'll be doing a little bit of a try on too because a couple of my WIPs are in good spots for trying things on. So let's start with the WIP that I made the most progress on. So this is the Copenhagen cardigan. It is by Petite Knit, and I'm knitting it up in Knitting for Olive Merino and Soft Silk Mohair, both in the colorways Dusty Moose. Once again, I purchased this yarn in Copenhagen, and I was planning to knit it while I was there for 4 months, but I only was there for 2, so obviously the project didn't get finished. But I'm trying to really work through those feelings of kind of disappointment and also that feeling of joy of being home and of having this experience. And I think being able to work on this cardigan at home is really helpful for me when I'm processing those feelings. And also I'm not putting any pressure on myself to work on it when I'm not feeling up to it. But I finished a complete sleeve, which is great. I do my sleeves about 19 inches. I do like a bit of a longer sleeve. I notice that I have longer arms and I like my sleeves to really cover part of my hand. And then I have just started on the second sleeve. I'm going to do a little try on for you guys so that we can see how it's coming along. Purposely wore a little tank top today so that I could try on all of these. Let's see. So yeah, this is getting my second sleeve on. I have put the body on some try-on tubing, some barber cord, just so that I could wear it easily. Okay. Let's see. Okay, so this is what I have so far. I know my head is out of the frame, but I mostly just want to show the sweater. So I'm going to back up a little bit. So obviously there's going to be buttons on the front. I really like that the kind of button placket and everything is knit at the same time as the rest of the sweater. This makes it super easy. I am expecting this to block out a little bit. Right now I would say the sleeves, see, like go right here, and then when I raise my arm up, here I have to put it, when I raise my arm up like this, you can kind of see that it's right at the wrist, which I think is great. I compared the sleeve length to a different cardigan that I had knit, and they're right around the same size. I'm expecting, because it's not super wash and then it's got the mohair and stuff, I'm going to block it out a little and stretch the sleeves a little bit more because I do want them to be pretty tight to the arm. Like I don't want a baggy sleeve. And I'm also expecting that when I knit more of the body, it's going to kind of pull everything down a little bit, just the pure weight of the fabric, and that'll end up pulling the sleeve down a little bit too. So yeah, I did just about 19 inches for my sleeve. I'm really liking the way that this turned out. Maybe I should just wear this and do a little half cardigan fit. I'm not going to do that for the rest, but I really do love the way that it's turning out. This project is really fun. Recently, I actually learned that not a lot of people are using Petite Knit designs in the knitting community right now because her designs are not always size inclusive. So that's something I just wanted to come on here and mention. I am very lucky that I have never had to worry about my size not being included in a pattern because I almost always knit the smallest size, and that always fits me. I don't really worry as much about gauge or sizing because I know I'll pretty much fit into the smallest size no matter what. And I looked into my old petite knit patterns. I've owned these patterns for years now, and I bought most of them when I first started knitting, and she was kind of the first big knitwear designer that I really noticed and started following along with. And a lot of her designs just aren't graded for larger bust sizes, and so they're not size inclusive. And I understand that that is a really big concern for a lot of people. I've decided that going forward, I probably won't be purchasing many petite knit patterns anymore because there's so many other great designers out there to support. And I do have a lot of her patterns already, and I want to expand my knitting repertoire and use other designers' patterns, and at some point hopefully even make my own. But that's kind of a pipe dream right now. But it's just something that I saw on Instagram. A friend that I have online posted about it and really got me thinking, and I was like, wow, I should look through my patterns and really think about who I'm supporting and what kind of designers that I'm supporting with my money and also publicizing with my work. So yeah, definitely not saying that I'm just going to get rid of all my petite knit patterns. I do already own these patterns, and I have some that I do want to work up, and I'm very lucky that I can use her patterns, and I do think that they are well written. I hope that as the knitting community grows and petite knit is hearing more people call out for size inclusivity, she goes back and reworks her patterns, adds more sizes and stuff like that. And so it just kind of keeps up with the size inclusivity, and so everyone can enjoy and use her patterns. So yeah, little sidebar. Now we'll move on to the next work in progress. Next work in progress, I have also done a bit on this week. Not a ton. I have mainly been working on the sleeve of this sweater. I'm also going to try this one on for everyone. This one's a little bit harder to try on because it's on a very short cord. So you're just going to have to bear with me as I attempt to put it on. It's sometimes a little difficult, but here we go. Perfect. If it was on a longer cord, it would go on so much easier. I just didn't want to take it off. I just simply took the needles off of my cord and just left the cord on with some stoppers. So this is the Lauder cardigan. Lauder cardigan and sweater. There's a v-neck, there's a round neck. So I'm doing the Lauder v-neck sweater by Rebecca Clow of the Crea Bea. This is in a purple yarn that came from Taiwan. I don't really know anything about it, but my mom brought it back for me a couple years ago, and I really like it. And it's an all-over cabled sweater. So as you can see, there's cables everywhere, and there's these kind of different cable repeats. Once again, sorry my face is out of the frame. I just really want to show you guys the beautiful sweater. So you get this, and then they're supposed to be full-length sleeves, and there's cables, same exact cables going all the way down the sleeves. The sleeves have definitely been taking me a while because the cable repeats come around much quicker. So it's a cable repeat and then like plain stockinette in between, or like plain in pattern in between knitting and purling. And so that's been taking a little bit longer, but I definitely do want to get more work done on this sleeve. I'm hoping that each sleeve will take about 2 balls. So this is one so far. And I'm hoping that each sleeve will take about 2 balls, which will leave me 3 to do like the rest of the length on the body and then all of the like edging for the collar. After I finish using up this ball on the sleeve, which will hopefully be within the next week, I do want to put on the collar so I can see how it kind of pulls the sweater in a little bit more, and I can see if I need to add any length to the sleeve or the other sleeve before I work that. So yeah, I think the sweater's been coming along really well. This is also my first big all-over cabled project. I've been working on this, as I've mentioned many times, for years now because I keep picking it up and putting it back down. But I'm really trying to tell myself that I want to finish this before the new year and have this lovely, lovely sweater. So yeah, now I'm going to attempt to take it off. Honestly, taking it off is the hard part. Putting it on is easier. Okay. I absolutely love this. The yarn is so soft. The cables are so beautiful. and it definitely makes me want to cable more. It's definitely very much a process knit. I'm very much enjoying the process, but taking it very, very slowly. But it is so, so much fun, and I'm having a great time. Okay, so those 3 works in progress, those were all 3 of the garments that I've been working on. I've also been working on some other gift knits. So Luke, my boyfriend, needs to look away now, and he can look back when I get to the acquisition section, because I'm going to be talking about what I'm making him for Christmas. So as I mentioned last week, I finished 1 glove out of the pair that I'm making my boyfriend Luke. 1 glove right here. And then I am currently working on the second glove. Ooh, my yarn got a little tangled. Okay, so I'm currently working on the second glove. It kind of looks like a crazy mess right now because I finished the the cuff, and then I've just started to work on all of the fingers. And obviously the fingers require yarn to be put on hold. Each finger is knit individually. And so it's kind of this crazy mess because I've got tubing, I've got tubing for the yarn that I have on hold, and then I obviously have the fingers that I am currently working on. I'm also duplicate stitching his initials. I'm duplicate stitching his initials onto the gloves, but I'm not going to show that just for his privacy. And so I'm hoping by the end of today or tomorrow, definitely by the end of this weekend, I will have finished these gloves. The fingers have definitely been a little bit fiddly to knit. I've never knit gloves with fingers before. This is my first time. And so it's definitely been a little fiddly because it's, magic loop and very small circumference. It's like too small for short circular, so you have to do magic loop, which is a little fiddly and a little bit repetitive. But I do like it. They work up quite quickly, and now that I've worked up 1 glove, I can really just use the sizing of the fingers for this one to make sure I do the exact same number of rows, and so that I can make sure the other glove is the exact same size. I'm really excited to wash and block these. I want to block the cuff out a little bit more and just kind of block the fingers out so they're a little longer and less stout and round. So yeah, hopefully next week I will have a complete finished object to show you guys in the form of these gloves, and I can try them on my own hand. They look weird and like Mickey Mouse gloves and really big on me, but obviously he has much bigger hands, so they're going to be perfect for Christmas, and I'm very excited. Okay, my next work in progress is something that I just cast on last night. So last night, I actually made this pouch by myself a couple of years ago when I was learning to sew. I'm going to learn to sew again. I already signed myself up for sewing classes that I plan to take. And so hopefully I'm going to be able to get back into that and also show you guys some things that I've been working on and finished objects or work in progress sewing related. But I cast on this sock last night at 9:30 because I just wanted something new to work on. So here we have a lovely sock. Let's see. There we go. Okay, so this sock I'm making it out of yarn from Cocoon Blue, and it's a fingering weight wash. It's a fingering weight non-superwash merino wool, and it's a speckled yarn. I think it really has these really nice teeny little, I don't know if they're called micro stripes. I don't know if this would exactly be called micro striping, but I really like the way these tiny little stripes have come out and the color of the yarn. I've mentioned before that this is going to be a pair of socks for my boyfriend, and he is a marine biologist and really into scuba diving and snorkeling and swimming and everything about the ocean and coral reefs. And this yarn actually goes into it's called the Ocean Cleanup Foundation. And so everything you buy from this brand and this yarn goes to supporting that. I love that. And it supports also sustainable water use and water practices, and tells you exactly, it actually tells you, I don't know if you can see this, exactly how much water goes into making this skein of yarn, which is really cool. And then it talks about supporting the Ocean Foundation on the front, the Ocean Cleanup Foundation. So yeah, I'm doing the DRK Andrea Mowry everyday socks. It's a pattern that I've been using for years now. It's a toe-up sock, and I'm actually doing the ribbing this time. Normally, I don't do the 2x2 ribbing when I do the Andrea Mowry everyday socks. I normally just do like plain stockinette in the round and stockinette socks. But I've made my boyfriend 2 pairs of stockinette socks already, and I wanted to do a pair with the ribbing. So that's what I'm doing here. Definitely going to be my on-the-go knitting project. I'm just like 2 rounds into the ribbing. I've barely started. But it's great because it's so small. Fits in my little bag, teeny tiny. And I can just stick it in my purse and take it with me wherever I need to go. Okay, next. Luke, if you are watching still, you may look back now. I'm going to go into some of my acquisitions. So this week, I already mentioned that one of my acquisitions was the La Baba knitting kit, but it became a finished object super quickly. My next acquisition I have over here, I haven't even opened it yet, so we'll do a little unboxing, little bit of bag noise. But this I ordered from, where did I order this from? Oh, I ordered this from Laughing Hens USA. It's a yarn, it's a website or web brand that my friend showed me when I first started knitting. And they have a lot of really great drops yarn, which I haven't been able to find too many other stock lists in the US specifically. So I wanted to get some drops yarn. Okay, let's go ahead and get this open. I'll take out one of each of my yarns to show you guys. Okay, so the first one I have is Drops Nord. Drops Nord is, let's see, it's 45% alpaca, 30% polyamide, and 25% wool. I believe it is a fingering weight yarn, and it's just in this really nice gray color. The gray is really similar to the, if you look, very similar to the Knitting for Olive Dusty Mousse. This is just called color number 404 in Drops. I haven't ever worked with any of these yarns before, but I'm really excited and I have a very great project in mind. The second yarn that I got to hold with that is Drops Brushed Alpaca Silk. It looks like this. Super fluffy. And it is a blend of alpaca and mulberry silk. It's 77% alpaca and 23% silk. One of my lovely friends that I met in Copenhagen, she was working on, I don't know if she finished it yet, but her first sweater, and she was using a strand of Drops Brushed Alpaca Silk, and I thought it looked really lovely and a little bit of a different vibe, a little more fluffy, more halo, and just different from traditional mohair, so I decided to give it a shot. Drops is so affordable. I'm really excited to see how these darker gray and this lighter gray kind of marl together and how the halo comes off from the alpaca. I think it's going to be really, really nice. This, let me see what colorway this is. I don't know if it says. This is color number 3 in the alpaca silk. And I'm just really excited to see it all work up. So for this yarn, I'm going to be working on the Tove Rib Skirt. So the Tove Rib Skirt, let me just check who it's by. Let me pull out my computer. I should have written that down, but I forgot. I have been wanting to knit bottoms for a really long time. So, okay. The Tove Rib Skirt is by Odd Row. That's the designer. And it looks really beautiful. It's just this beautiful full-length long wool ribbed skirt that I think is absolutely perfect to wear in the wintertime with a pair of leggings, or in the fall, something like that. And I've been wanting to knit a skirt for a really, really long time. I'm mostly a garment knitter. I knit a ton of sweaters and shirts and tops and tanks. But I've been wanting to get into bottoms. I really want to knit a pair of pants. I really want to knit skirts, long and short. I really want to knit a dress. I've just been really wanting to get more into kind of bottoms of garments. So that is what I'm going to be doing. So 2026 is going to be kind of the year of me getting more into bottoms and cardigans is what I want to say. But this project I want to finish to wear with my Copenhagen cardigan at Christmas, to kind of this like gray, like melange gray look. And so I'm going to cast this on once I finish the Christmas present that I'm working on for my boyfriend. I'm going to cast this on hopefully sometime this weekend. If I'm really lucky, sometime today I'll be able to cast it on, which will be really, really exciting. But yeah, so I have all of my yarn in this bag here. Took about, I want to say a week, maybe more than a week for it to come in the mail, so it wasn't really that long. Once again, like I said, Drops is super affordable and just a really great yarn brand. I haven't used a lot of Drops since I used their blown yarn, Drops Air, to make my Sunday sweater a while ago when I first started knitting. But I was seeing a lot of people like use Drops, and I've been seeing it a lot just like on the internet and stuff. And so I wanted to give it another shot and get some yarn. And I feel like it'll be a really good, like, kind of sturdy yarn to hold up with. That'll be good for a skirt. So yeah. Okay, I have one more thing that I want to cast on that I made note of that I hopefully will get to doing at some point. So as I said, that this year, 2020, well, not this year, I guess, next year, 2026, I really want it to be my year of cardigans and bottoms, because those are some things that I've been wanting in my knitting wardrobe that I just haven't gotten around to making yet. So I want to cast on the Shalcott cardigan by Coco Amore Knitwear. I have this really beautiful yarn from Brooklyn Tweed, is it called? I think it might be Brooklyn Tweed or Brooklyn General Store. I don't remember exactly. I'll bring it in the next podcast. I don't have it on me right now. But I have this really nice yarn. It's Shelter, if anyone remembers if that's from Brooklyn Tweed. I think it is. And it's this lovely worsted weight yarn, also gray. As you can see, I'm in a little bit of a gray color scheme. I feel like it's a really good neutral. I want to do more browns, so that's probably the next neutral I'll move into. But I feel like gray is really my color right now. It's very neutral, very calm, really goes with everything. And so I'm going to knit that cardigan. It's the Shalcott cardigan, and it's an all over fisherman's rib. So that'll be super fun. I've done a little bit of brioche, but I've never done fisherman's rib before. So I think it'll be really cool to work that up. Yeah. So those are my knitting plans for the near future. And then I'll just end with just a little bit of life and a little bit of knitting as I talk about what I'm going to be doing today. So today is obviously Halloween, yay. And I'm at home. Our neighborhood does have a couple of children, and we get some trick-or-treaters. So my mom is out this morning. She is getting some candy for the trick-or-treaters, and then she is also getting 2 more pumpkins for us to carve. Really funny story. I had a pumpkin that I bought and I carved it, and I thought he looked super cute. I will insert a picture somewhere here of my pumpkin. I carved him using one of those like pumpkin carving kit things, and I just thought he looked super cute. I put a really fun light in it as well, and then I put him outside, and then the weather decided to become 80 degrees and really windy, and my pumpkin very, very quickly dried out, and the carved portion ended up falling into the pumpkin. So now it's just a pumpkin with a big hole in it. So we're going to carve 2 new pumpkins to decorate with. We do have some like fake pumpkins outside for decoration already, but I'm very excited. I do really like carving pumpkins. I've never really done it too much. Last year, I did it with my boyfriend's family, and they are incredible pumpkin carvers. My boyfriend's dad is like a pumpkin carving artist. He actually makes it look so good, like doesn't use one of those cutout patterns or something, but like draws it and carves it, and his brothers are really great at it too, and they've been doing it since they were little kids. So they actually make really great, beautiful works of art, and I'm kind of just making a pumpkin that's fun. So yeah, very simple, something basic. I'm really excited to give out candy. I don't actually know if I'm gonna like end up dressing up. I think maybe we have a pair of just cat ears or something around that I can put on. Yesterday I was wearing a face mask and my boyfriend was like, oh, you should just wear that face mask and that can be your Halloween costume because it looks like kind of creepy and scary. And I was like, thanks. I just want to have nice skin, which is, funny, I think. So yeah, for the rest of this week, I've mostly just been at home. Yesterday, I went with my mom to her office and we got lunch. We had lunch at a Chinese skewer place. I love lamb skewers and fish tofu, and it was so good. And then I went to her office and it was really nice because I got to sit outside. Her office has a couple like gardens around the area. She works at a hospital. And I got to kind of sit in the garden for a little bit, relax, listen to a podcast, do some knitting. And it was really nice to get out of the house for a while. Other than that, I've pretty much been at home on the couch watching tons and tons of Criminal Minds. I feel like because it's this like spooky Halloween season, my brain really wanted to get back into Criminal Minds. So I started watching it again and just blew through season 1. It was so good. What else have I done this week that I want to update? I took a Pilates class this week and I did really like it. I don't know if I'm going to continue. I do like going to the gym with my mom just to kind of walk on the treadmill, run, do some exercising. But I've always wanted to try a Pilates class, and Nitty Natty kind of inspired me to take a shot because she said that she recently got back into Pilates. So I was like, I should do that. Definitely my arms are very sore. I have a lot more leg strength than arm strength, so my arms are very sore. But it was a really fun class and I had a really good time taking it. I might go back for another one, still TBD at this moment. I don't really have any weekend plans. I'm going to go to a new knitting group, San Bernardino Sip and Stitch. I went last weekend as well for their like Halloween Stitchoween party, and it was amazing. The women there are absolutely lovely. The women and the men are absolutely lovely. Everyone is. It was a really great place and I really liked being there around other crafters and just chatting and meeting new people and getting out of the house. I think on this Sunday for football, I'm also going to go see my sister and go watch some football with her and her husband and my niece. So that'll be really fun. We'll be obviously bringing my knitting to go hang out with them. So yeah, those are pretty much, I would say, all of my plans for the weekend. The next week, I'm just going to be knitting a ton. I really want to get started on my rib skirt, and I really want to get these gloves that I'm working on off the... Ooh, I said it. Luke, you did not hear that. If you did, just cut it out. I'm working, I don't know, he might actually know that what I'm making him already. I might have said it. I'm really bad at like keeping things secret, but he hasn't seen them. And so seeing them is the important part, which he won't get to do. Luke, you do not get to see the present until Christmas. Sorry if I've spoiled it for you multiple times now. You know I'm a horrible secret keeper. Yeah. But this week, I'm hoping to get my boyfriend's Christmas present off the needles and then get started on a new project. And I'm hoping to really I want to get done with another sleeve on my Copenhagen cardigan, a sleeve on my Lauder sweater, and start this new project. Okay, so I have some pretty lofty goals, but I think all of next week, I'll just be knitting. I am taking a sewing class on Tuesday, so we have to check in on Friday and let you guys know how that went. But I'm very, very excited to do more crafting and just get a lot of knitting done this coming week. And I'll see you guys in the next episode next Friday. Okay, bye!